Tess is a young, ambitious woman working in New York City who dreams of breaking free from the confines of her secretarial position. She aspires to a career in the world of business and finance, but despite her education and insight, her suggestions are often ignored or misappropriated by her bosses, and she faces humiliation and sexism. Bosses and co-workers don't take her seriously, seeing her as nothing more than good looks and a junior employee. Despite this, Tess does not lose her desire to succeed and continues to persist in expressing ideas and looking for opportunities for advancement. After an unsuccessful attempt to change her job to a more promising position and a series of unpleasant situations at work, she is appointed as an assistant to Catherine, one of the heads of an investment company. Catherine is a confident, influential and successful woman, but it becomes immediately apparent that her admiration for Tess is superficial and her interest utilitarian. Despite her seemingly warm attitude, Catherine treats Tess as a means to her own ends. She picks up on the potential in her and uses it to her own advantage. When Catherine leaves on a trip for work, Tess is left to run errands, among them important documents and personal errands. At this point, Tess accidentally discovers Catherine's project, which is one of her own ideas to merge the company for the sake of expansion. She realizes that Catherine planned to misappropriate her idea, using it as a resource for her ambitions. A sense of injustice struggles in Tess's soul, but she is also overcome with inspiration and determination. Realizing that the chance to put herself forward and prove her abilities came only by chance, she decides to take the risky step of impersonating Catherine's business partner in order to promote the project and attract the attention of major market players. Trying to keep herself confident, she goes to a meeting with businessman Jack, who can play a decisive role in the realization of her idea. Tess dresses with maximum restraint and elegance to convince him of her competence and professionalism. At the meeting, she tries to look confident and skillful, although her heart is racing with excitement. Jack is fascinated by her determination and her knowledge of the market, and a mutual attraction develops between them, based on both professional interest and personal sympathy. Tess tries to hide her true feelings, but it's clear from the look in her eyes that she hasn't felt this excited about a man who shares her ambitions in a long time. She continues to meet with Jack, working out the details of the deal together and trying to keep the situation under control. Her restraint and insight impress him, and he becomes increasingly interested in working together. During their business meetings, they become closer on a personal level, and Tess begins to develop feelings for Jack, which adds complexity to her plan. She has to fight the temptation to confess her true identity to him, but the fear of losing everything holds her back. At the same time, Tess is torn between her desire for honesty and ambition that won't let her back down. The day of the important presentation comes when Tess has to demonstrate the idea of the merger and present it to the executives of both companies. She prepares meticulously, thinking through every step, rehearsing her speech and trying to overcome her fear of failure. In the boardroom, she confidently presents the proposal, justifying every detail and showing a full understanding of the market and the company's needs. Even though her speech goes well, she is anxious inside. She feels that every glance from her colleagues penetrates her, as if they realize her deception. All of this is heightened by her worry about how Jack will take it if he finds out the truth. Tess continues to fulfill her role, feeling her soul torn by guilt and fear of exposure. However, her resolve does not give up, and she hopes that she can complete the project and perhaps one day tell Jack the truth, explaining her motives. Jack, for his part, becomes increasingly interested in Tess, although he has questions about certain aspects of her biography and begins to suspect that not everything is so simple. The situation escalates when Catherine unexpectedly returns to the office and Tess's deception is jeopardized. Catherine suspects something amiss and quickly realizes that Tess has been going behind her back, using her resources and contacts. Enraged, she stages a public scandal, exposing Tess to her co-workers and Jack. Catherine rebukes her for her betrayal and deception, humiliating her in front of everyone and destroying everything Tess has been building over the past weeks. For Tess, this moment is the culmination of her inner turmoil as she feels her world crumbling, but realizes that she can't go back to being an assistant, that this is her chance to say what she thinks. When Catherine begins to explain the situation to Jack, Tess dares to be frank. She tells him her motives and how her own ideas were stolen and misappropriated. She explains that her actions were driven by desperation and a desire to escape a situation where her skills and potential were being ignored. Despite the exposure and the fact that her reputation has been damaged, Tess feels a sense of liberation, realizing that she was able to prove her worth and stand up for her truth. Jack listens to her with mixed feelings, frustration and respect overwhelming him at the same time. It pains him to realize that Tess has kept the truth from him, but he also understands her motives and inner struggle. Over time, his respect for her outweighs the disappointment, and he decides to give her a second chance. He recognizes her talent and determination and offers her a return engagement, but this time in an environment where they can build their relationship on honesty and trust. Some time passes and Tess is given a new position in the company where she is given the opportunity to develop and use her talent to its full potential.